Holy Land Mary Joyce. The 5 elders discussed two recent major developments in the land of Wano. After being informed by the remaining CP0 agents, Nika's appearance and the defeat of Big Mom, and then Kaido during the attack on Onigashima, everywhere they comment that the disclosure of such information is impossible to cover up, and ask the other Grosei what to do. Meanwhile, CP Agent Zero Joseph, who has returned to the world government fleet, who was stationed outside Wano, reported that Sinezar had left the area. And the Grosei with glasses and bald hair answered that Wano country will close its borders, and the invasion will be thwarted. But still ask the agent to catch Nico Robin. But the agents are unable to hear the last word when their signal is interrupted by a mysterious voice stating that they should stay in position, as that person would be arriving soon. Then we move on to Onigashima Castle. Drake was reunited with Hawkins, who was barely able to stand on his feet. Hawkins learns that Drake is still in the Marines, but Drake refuses to confirm that. Hawkins then sat up against a pillar and revealed to Drake that he's working for Kaido because he won't get a chance if he refuses. But he also admits how Eustace Kid and Killer keep fighting, even though they will die. Hawkins then reveals to Drake that the person he predicted and had a 1% chance of living on is Hawkins' own Bacillus. Then Hawkins fainted. 7 days have passed since the end of the Onigashima raid and the fire festival at a school in the flower capital. A new teacher has replaced Sarah Hebe and revised the entire history lesson with lessons on the life of Oden's Kasuki. Residents also know that Komurasaki is Kozuki Yuri, and Kawamatsu saved him from the burning castle. They also enjoy clean drinking water and abundant food. They also discuss the person who had defeated Kaido, and he was a person named Joy Boy, but think that Joy Boy has left Wano. Meanwhile, at the cemetery in Ringo area, Kawamatsu and Kanemen discuss building a shrine dedicated to Kozuki Oden, including his fellow daimyo, and ends with a tribute to Ashura Doji as well as Aizo, then seen Yamato sitting on top of the former Orochi castle. He was then overjoyed after hearing from Hiyori that Luffy and Zoro had woken up and had fully recovered, greeted by the jubilant Nakama. Here Luffy and Zoro failed to recognize the grown-up Momonosuke and tries to catch Nami to cheer him up, only to be blown away by Nami. Sanji and Brook then taught Momonosuke that they welcomed him into the world of adults, and that he no longer has the privilege of living with Nami. Yamato also teased him by placing a plate on his head and leveling it with Oden. Nami then invited Yamato to bathe together because his prayer had been answered. But Yamato refuses because there's no public bath in the castle. Sanji also found out that Hiri cleaned up Zoro while he was recovering, which turned into a fight between them. In the midst of the commotion, Kikunoyo then joined the women, replacing Yamato. Yamato then joins the men as they bathe in the castle's onsen, which caused Sanji to have another nosebleed. Nami then joins the female retainers at the female end of the onsen. After taking a bath, the residents decide to celebrate the return of the Kozuki family as the new shogun. Meanwhile, Frankie and Yusuf join Minatomu in repairing the ship as well as General Frankie at Takaj Harbor in Uden. Beepo and Killer are amazed by Frankie's robot, but Kit and Law and the rest of the crew are not very attached to the other group, while Streetman Apo then arrives carried by Inbi. He also brought a copy of the day's newspaper, with news headlines calling new ocean emperors, as well as new bounty lists for them. Meanwhile, Yaku is flying in the air near the land of Wano. He was talking to Sakazuki, and told him not to cause a scene anymore. Where with this, in the midst of the joy of victory over the defeat of Kaido, a new danger from Marine Admiral Ryo Kugyu, the Green Bull begins to approach Wano. In Mary Joyce, we see a Mustachio Grosse yelling at a Marine and ordered her to reprint the newspaper, changed Luffy's bounty photo and removed the initial D from his name. Marine tells him ... that photo was sent by Agent CP0 Guernica. He also said that they could not contact the printing company, where when the Grosse told him to stop the distribution of newspapers. Elsewhere, Morgans is seen laughing with satisfaction, and said that the transmission of Den Mushi from Wano country was cut off right after they met the Big Mom pirate ship. He also said, "Will not let the world government control information as they please." Where the world has changed nowadays, facts are the most interesting thing. As a result, big news about the defeat of Big Mom and Kaido spread throughout the world, as well as the 3 people responsible for it all. Where is Monkey D. Luffy, Eustace Captain Kidd, and Trafalgar D. Waterlaw? Given a huge bounty. As a result, each of them was given a bounty of 3 billion berry. Even this news itself surprised the Heart Pirates, and also the Kidd. When the Stressman Apo asked where did Kidd go, then it looks like even Keeler knows what Kidd wants as he and the rest of the crew head out to celebrate a party, while Law said that going forward, the situation would definitely be troublesome and also complicated. In Castle, to be precise, the flower capital, a cook is seen making dishes for a very large party. Their Jinbai was the only one and was drinking sake. Meanwhile outside, Luffy, Yamato and also Chopper are having fun at the party and enjoying the food, while Brook was having a concert and playing the Frenchman song, the song that Kitsuki Hiri used to play in the Simizen. Meanwhile in the dungeons of Tangayama Castle, Hitetsu finds Robin, where Robin is seen looking round, and he asked Tangayama why is his collection of Coxie dolls in the basement, and he reveals that it used to be his secret hobby room before it became a prison. Robin questioned what did he mean, because Robin thought Tangayama was a swordsman. Here, Tankuyama admits that he has talent in terms of swords such as forging and also using them, but he only thinks of it as a hobby. He also stated if the world of politics is very tiring for him, that's when he starts to take off his mask and reveals that he is actually the former shogun of Wano country, which is called Kozuki Sukiyaki. Robin was shocked and asked him, did Momo know about his identity? Sukiyaki replied that he didn't know, and he had no plans to tell it to Momo, out of shame to let the country be taken over by Orochi, although Sukiyaki is sure and suspicious that Momo's followers might already know his identity. He also said that when he came out and saw the state of Wano, he planned to commit seppuku there, and then Robin cuts his sentence by telling him that Poneglyph is in Kingdom of Arabastor, reveals about the ancient Pluden weapon, located in the Wano country. Then Robin asked if it was true. Then Sukiyaki confirmed and said that it was true. Pluden is in Wano country. Then we are taken to the former prison mine in Yuden. Seen Admiral Ryo Kugyu, whose real name is Aramaki. He has also defeated all the beast pirates imprisoned there, including King and Queen. It turns out he has the logical ability to turn his finger into a root, which was used to drain all of their nutritional fluids, and those fluids flowed into him. Raikkoju took the Den Mushi and told the Marines to take the warship to Wano country, and also not to tell Sakazuki what he's doing before hanging up. After that, Aramaki reveals that he considers Sakazuki's extreme method of absolute justice really cool and wanted some recognition from Sakazuki, which he thinks he can achieve if he brings Luffy's head in front of him. Then we return to the party in the Flower Capital. Luffy congratulates the alliance of ninja, samurai, pirates, Ming, the king's followers, then the Yakuza and all the citizens of Wano on their amazing victory. As Momonosuke watches, he remembers that Luffy told him not to tell everyone who he is, because he doesn't want to be called a hero. It was then that Kid then announced his intention to kill Luffy, but Luffy quickly catches him, and everyone started partying, which was a big party. The first thing Wano residents have seen so far, and judged that the pirate was a really great person. But after a while, Kid released himself from Luffy's grip. And that time she told him she didn't care about that stupid party, and came to kill Luffy. Then Kid told Luffy that the outside world had announced the name of the new Yonko, namely Akagami no Shanks, Marshall D. Teach, Mujiwara no Luffy, and the last is the Star Clown Buggy. Here Luffy really surprised, but on the other hand Ryo Kugyu, he began to approach the Flower Capital while listening to celebratory music. But he says that he is not in a party mood considering the state the whole world is in right now has been messed up, where the era of the ruler of the seas has finally changed.